We are live.
What's going on, everyone? What is
Hell yeah.
up? How is everybody doing today? Beautiful day, unless, of course, you're in California. Then you are going to be under tyrannical rule, and there's nothing you can do about it because we all know that now the emergency declarations means that governors can pretty much do whatever they want with unfettered control. It's crazy. We need to get rid of the emergency declaration, period. We need to get rid of that. We cannot, why do we have a government if a governor could just go, it's an emergency. And then the state Senate, the state house, nobody else can check their power.
It leaves it open to, if you give government an opportunity to seek extra powers, if there's an emergency, there's always going to be an emergency. Always.
Well, what constitutes an emergency? Like, there's stuff. Like, every day I can find something that's an emergency. If you're in Memphis, every day's an emergency because someone's getting got every single day. Yeah, right. By the way, for you white folks out there, getting got, it means something we can't say on YouTube. It means getting unalived. Yeah. You think YouTube's been smart enough to make unalived come up in their algorithm? Because that's what everybody uses for the D word. Like, I'm sure they figured it out because they were, oh no, it's unalived. And they're like, YouTube's never going to figure that one out. Yeah. They're never going to figure that one out.
That's why you get more creative, like pulling their breathing card or, making them available to the next life or stuff like that.
Making your body not so alive again. Because you started out not alive, right? I guess you were. It depends when conception happened. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but
I don't know either.
But I think it's just astounding that we have these rules that have been enacted after the Constitution that usurp the Constitution. Like the Emergency Declaration Act. Again, it's been a while since I took civics class. Forgive me. But I'm pretty sure that there's nothing in the Bill of Rights about an Emergency Declaration Act. Did you read that in the Constitution?
I missed that part if it does exist. What I can tell you, and what I do know, is that the Constitution was written and signed during a smallpox epidemic. So, an actual very deadly disease,
It's slightly more unalivey instead of than a cold. Than a cold, slightly, just by a little bit. And they had no treatments at the time really, except for prayer and like literal snake oil.
Literal
like oil from snakes. Ajax posted actually the origin of the word snake oil, and I forgot what it was, but it was astounding. I was like, oh man, because they actually had snake oil that has some therapeutic benefits. And then someone in America just was like, they just put something else, and they're like, it's snake oil. But in reality, it wasn't the snake oil that actually worked. It was just like whatever oil. And so that's where snake oil came from. But snake oil itself was actually quite effective.
When you think about it, though, there's a lot of drugs that are based off of the venoms of spiders and snakes. And Ozempic is based off of Gila monster venom.
I was just going there because I always thought to myself, now this is common sense. This is where my brain goes. Like, I was a fat kid, right? And I remember I always would, be around classmates and I'd be like, and they'd be skinny because when I grew up in the 90s, there were like two fat people and I was one of them. Right. And I remember looking at them and I'd look at these kids fit, skinny, in shape. And I'd be like, man, I know exactly how I could get there. The venom of a Gila monster. First thing that popped into my head, it was the venom of a Gila monster. And if your brain doesn't go there, you're not a rational thinking human being.
Right. Because that's obviously the logical progression is like, hey, I'm fat. Let me drink this lizard's fucking venom that normally. If they don't drink it, they inject it.
What was that movie? What was that movie where the dude got bit by a rattlesnake and the guy's like, who got bit in his ass? and his friend had to suck the venom out of his. I forgot the movie. It wasn't Blazing Saddles. It was like one of those slapstick kind of movies. And so, like, is that a thing? Like, do you suck the venom out of, like, is that a thing to get the venom out of them? There has to be a more like.
There's like kits that you can get. Like, say you get bit on the arm. There's a kit where it has like a crisscross blade basically, and it cuts you. It makes like a little thing. Now, I do got to say though, if you would get bit on the ass, you're dead. If it's just me and you, like, I love you, brother, but
I'm not sucking your ass. I mean, there's a lot of things I do for you, but as with anything, friendship has limitations.
Yes,
and
I agree.
Sucking an ass cheek. I don't know, man. It's just the ass cheek. Like, come on, think about it. Like, the ass cheek is a very vast area.
Let me die.
But I'm not in the hole. I'm just on the cheek. It's
me die, because then we have to tell the story to people about how you suck the venom out of my ass cheek. So,
hey man, I'm a bodybuilder, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you pay me $20, I'll do it right now.
$20 is $20.
I mean, shit. Now,
crazy.
Now it would be like, so there's a question about, the sanctity of marriage, right? Like, right. Let's say that I'm on an island and I have a helicopter crash, and for some reason I'm on the helicopter with Carrie Underwood, and she gets bit in the ass. Now, if I suck the venom out of her ass,
the restraining order just ended, and you're starting it back up. It's crazy.
Well, we're on an island. The restraining order isn't. That's outside of jurisdiction.
Okay, I got you.
So not only am I outside of the area code, so as Nate Dogg said, there's you can. It's fact. It's a law. You can have hoes in different area codes. That's 100% true. Okay, so not only is it a different area code, but it's a different country. It's an island. Yeah. So, like, and it could be unincorporated. It could just be one of those floating islands that no one's really claimed yet. Because I think there are still some of those.
Then you could claim it, and that could be part of the culture.
I know what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm finding an island. So polyamory is going to be the social order of this island that I think it's a great idea. I'm on it.
Wow.
I'm on it. But so what's crazy is I think you have the
we're 8.5 minutes in and so far off topic. It's crazy.
Well, here's the hey man, it's a holiday. It's the week before a holiday week, and this is what's going to happen. So this is from Liz Churchill. So Gavin Newsom apparently from the insinuation of this post, has declared.
This is a question real quick. Do you think we should pull off YouTube just to be safe?
Well, I don't think we're going to talk about the V word. Okay. I think we can skate this one and just talk about what's going on in based on what we have. Mm-hmm. And so essentially YouTube, we are not anti-V.
No.
We are just talking about the potentials for what can happen here. And so during the last pandemic, Gavin Newsom locked down his state, which was obviously the right move. It was recommended by the CDC, the WHO, and those guys are never wrong. Never wrong. And so now he declares a health emergency for the bird flu. And I think we need to look at what exactly the bird flu is and kind of go over like what a health emergency means, right? So what is the bird flu? So let's type this into our good friend ChatGPT and find out what or either one. Why don't we do both?
You do chat and I'll do
hell of an experiment there.
Yeah.
Hell of an experiment. I think so. I mean, I want to know. So the bird flu, also known as avian influenza, is a type of viral infection that primarily affects birds. Certain strains of the virus can infect humans and other animals, leading to serious health concerns. It's caused by influenza viruses, naturally occur among aquatic birds. It can spread to domestic poultry and in rare cases to humans. Direct contact with the birds, their droppings, or contaminated environment, consuming undercooked poultry or eggs from infected birds. Rarely human-to-human transmission has been reported, but it is not common. So the symptoms in humans are flu-like symptoms, fever, cough, sore throat, and muscle aches. That's pretty much me every day at my age.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much called being 40. Severe respiratory issues, pneumonia, difficulty breathing, acute respiratory distress. Severe cases can lead to multi-organ failure and death. Prevention, practice good hygiene, wash your hands. There are vaccines against these bird flu strains that might be available for those high risk. It doesn't appear, according to this, and I'm just reading ChatGPT, which is our friendly AI, it doesn't appear that, one, it's that big of an issue.
No.
Or two, that even if it was, that it would be an issue to most people. It just appears like a harsh flu. What do you know about the bird flu, Alan?
At one point in time, I thought somebody even said it was like one of the biggest symptoms of it is pink eye. But
no.
On Grok, it's pretty much the same stuff. Public Health, the World Health Organization, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which doesn't prevent or control any diseases, monitor H5N1 due to its potential mutate into a form that can spread amongst humans. And you know that there's somebody working in some lab trying to make that shit happen, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, I refuse to believe that there's not. You know, and besides that, it reads very closely to what Chat had. But
so apparently, the New York Times, let me pull this up real quick. I don't think I can read this because I'm not a subscriber. I'm not sure. Let me see if it pops me out. It looks like it's letting me. So let's go to the New York Times. So apparently it's not due to its spread in humans. According to the title, it could be bearing the lead. It could be because California declares an emergency over bird flu in cattle. They've discovered the virus in 645 dairy herds, more than any other state so far. So it's dairy cattle. It followed news earlier in the day that an individual in Louisiana has been hospitalized with bird flu. Okay. The virus H5N1 cannot yet spread easily among people. They're trying. Well, here's the thing. I've been told, and this is the narrative that I think we're supposed to go with, that there is no lab ever that America has done business with or commissioned that has ever created a virus to spread amongst humans. We've never done that in America. We would never do that. Our government would never do that to us.
No,
Fauci
never.
most certainly would never do that.
No.
So it poses little danger to the average American. Pasteurized dairy products are still safe to consume. There's a steady drumbeat of cases in people. I just saw we had one. There's one person. Isn't there like 350 million people here? Well, now there's 360 because we let in a bunch of others. But dairy, cattle, birds, and other animals, each infections give the virus a chance to take on form that cause a pandemic, experts for. So viruses mutate. I'm not understanding how that makes sense. Each infection gives the virus a chance to take on a form that could cause a pandemic. I mean, viruses mutate, yes, but I don't know how that statement makes sense to me.
You know, and for a couple of weeks ago, they were pushing the disease X thing. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
There's a disease X in Africa, and it's some sort of like Ebola type virus that they were trying to scare people with. You know, it's weird because the actual job of the government should be to try to keep people calm instead of put them in hysterics. Like the second they start trying to put you into hysterics, you know that they're doing something. But it's pretty messed up that we fund this stuff too. Like Michael's in the chat saying like this new CR, the continuing resolution, funds like 12 new biolabs.
Oh my God.
We shouldn't be funding any of this shit. And this is why, because if they can just keep claiming like, oh, it's just, it escaped. Now you guys need to lose 2 or 3 years of your lives again. And people will buy it because we live in a very weak society. There's a lot of extremely weak people. There are people that are on their like 8th or 9th booster. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, I don't, and again, I believe the boosters are the right move.
mm-hmm.
I believe
yes,
that
absolutely.
they
Absolutely.
are extremely, extremely effective.
Yes.
Super duper effective. I don't like Aaron Rodgers either.
Go,
super effective.
Go get your boosters because that'll help you.
I just got another one today, bro.
Dude, what, last week also and then today again?
Well, I mean, it was an awesome booster. It said testosterone on it. And it was enanthate. And I was just like, dude, this is the best booster I've ever taken.
That's awesome.
I am so boosted right now. Yeah. So a second child in the state was thought to become infected from drinking raw milk. So what's your opinion on raw milk? I'm not going to die on the hill of raw milk. Raw milk to me is Americans' ability to make a decision for themselves. And I don't think the government should prevent us from doing anything. We should just have, I don't know, we should have informed consent to everything we buy. Like we should be able to know the risks and everything else. Just like with all the informed consent we had during COVID, I mean, we were super informed and consenting. Yeah. That they told us everything. That's what we need everything to be. We need everything to be just like that, where they tell us exactly what's in it. I'm not itching to go find raw milk and drink it. I don't like milk that much anyway. Right. But what's your opinion on raw milk? Some people say it's like super healthy because it's got probiotics. I'm like, well, if that's the reason, why not just take probiotics?
Probiotics, right?
And take out all the potential risk. I know Matt Walsh pissed off a lot of conservatives and libertarians by saying raw milk's disgusting. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. I don't know enough about the situation. I've never even tried raw milk.
I actually think it's delicious. I think Matt Walsh is a pussy, but I mean,
but he has a beard.
Yeah, that's right. He has a beard, so he's a tough guy.
Take that back.
His hands probably feel like a baby's ass. But raw milk's delicious, and the concept that the government should be able to tell farmers that they can't sell raw milk to people that know that it's raw milk and that they take the risk is stupid. I just find it funny that they demonize raw milk for possible foodborne pathogens when in fact it's like they recall how many hundreds of tons of products all the time for different stuff, right? And if you know the farmer, my suggestion would be if you know the farmer and you trust them and they keep the cow really clean and everything like that, like they clean the area, they sanitize all their stuff. Raw milk is very, very good, very, very delicious. It's where, I mean, it's for the entirety of before we got to this whole stage where it's like everybody just picks up the raw, like, the guy that used to drop off the milk in the glass bottles at the front door and shit like that, the milk and eggs, like there used to be delivery services. Yeah. Like people forget that. That was raw milk, It's so weird how we act like shit from our past is this super deadly thing right now. It's the same. I think that raw milk is being treated like red meat was. They're trying to demonize it because this takes a lot of power out of the hands of farmers. Farmers can make top dollar, like they can avoid the middleman through the processing, and they can make a lot of money by selling to their local area, which is how it should be anyway. I mean, if it's a clean operation where you trust the farmer, they take it seriously, everything like that, and it was like from the cow's tit that day, is that better, or is it the milk that's been shipped one place, then milked, shipped, pasteurized, put into a plastic container that probably has forever chemicals in it, and then like shipped to you, sat in a store, handled by 16-year-olds in the back, and then to you, like what's healthier, I just think I that's my take.
So here's my take. Yeah, raw milk should obviously be legal and we should be able to sell to people. The government shouldn't have this. And you just said what it is. It's a money grab. Like they want to make sure that their people get paid because those are the donors. Like that's the problem is that it costs so much. Like I told you, man, I looked into running for office and I'm still exploring it, and I went in and I had lunch with this guy and he's a big political dude locally. Right. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to fund it myself. And he like looked at me. He's like, oh, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. Bro, I got this. I thought it was gonna be like a couple grand, I'll just go put some signs up. He's like, dude, you can't even get past the first week without $50,000. That won't even pay for your yard signs. And I'm like, holy shit. You need, even a local election run effectively, you need 100K plus. And you go on that larger level, you're in the 7 figures. I mean, unless you're literally Donald Trump, the rich guy, like known as the rich guy, a normal person like me and you, unless we sold our soul to these donors, we would not be able to run for office. It just isn't what it is. And we're not poor by any means, but you're talking about spending, say, $500,000 of my own money that I've worked my ass off my whole life to have at a chance at getting a job that pays $120,000, even local, $60,000, not even $40,000 a year. Why would I spend $500,000? So here's the deal. Like, think about politics. If you spent your own money, you have to get something in return. Why would I invest $500,000 to run for office for a $50,000 job or even a $200,000 job? Right. Why would, and after taxes, that comes out to nothing. That comes out to like 120. Why would anybody do that? That's why that politics are crooked, and that people are slaves to their donors, because there's no other way that normal people like good old bartender AOC could ever win without being beholden to her donors. That's why politics are inherently dirty.
You just yanked that right out of my skull. Like, she was a fucking bartender. And now this is another thing too. She was a bartender when she got to Congress. She's worth, 5 years later, she's worth $29 million.
Is that all from speaking engagements? I've done speaking engagements. I think so. So when I used to speak at universities, I refused to take money. I would tell the clubs that would bring me in to take my money and donate it to the school. So they would I wouldn't even see it. I'd be like, okay, you're going to pay me $2,000, whatever. Donate that back to the club. I've never made a dime lecturing. One time I let them cover a Days Inn, which was the worst hotel I've ever stayed at, by the way. I know I'm not Gucci by any means, but don't fucking stay at Days Inn. Not doing it ever again. I'd rather pay for my own hotel. That was the only thing I've ever taken is a Days Inn. And I made sure I flew on my own dime because I want these clubs to prosper. I'm there to help them, not be an expense. I'm not one of those DEI people who charge, 15 grand for 5 minutes of your time. Right. I'm like, I'll give you that lecture. I'll give you the greatest lecture you've ever seen, but I'm doing it for a donation of me donating the money you were going to pay me. Take that money and put that shit towards something cool, like a fucking statue of me, which they never did. I'm kind of disappointed. So here's where I love this. So according to Newsom, the proclamation is a targeted action to ensure government agencies have the resources and flexibility they need to respond quickly to this outbreak. While the risk to the public remains low, being that there was one case in a person thousands of miles away, and then there was apparently a kid who drank raw milk who had the sniffles. We will continue to take all necessary steps to prevent the spread of this virus. So it gets even better. It gets real better. I'm going to skip forward. It also granted funds. Now let's also, before I read this, remember that California is in a tremendous deficit. Yeah. It also granted funds to public health departments, hospitals, and nursing homes to help manage the pandemic. Nobody has it yet. What the fuck are they managing? Where are the funds going, Newsom? Where are they going? What fucking nursing home needs a extra fund for? He's getting kickbacks. It's
got to be something. Dude,
there's no cases. Are these cows going to the nursing home? Is old Betsy the cow going to a fucking nursing home? What the fuck am I reading right now?
California has been looking, has been a leader in looking for the infections. Of course, you're looking for the infections. That way you can declare it an emergency and you can fucking get paid.
Oh my God. The emergency powers will allow greater coordination and the ability to apply more funds.
Jesus.
Why are they? Okay, so they're underfunded so much. So California, now, this year was my first year not paying taxes into California for my entire life. I've always paid tax into California because I've always at least owned something in California. This year I don't. officially own anything in California. Bro, California bends you over and does some unmentionable things to your anus in the taxation department. I mean, you're looking at gas tax through the roof, property tax through the roof. I mean, you're looking at probably, if you took the same salary I make here, I'd be paying at least 16 to 17% more out of my salary, out of my earnings to the state of California. That's how crazy it is. Imagine you make $100,000, right? Let's say you make 100,000. Anybody makes 100,000. Bill makes 100,000. 16, 17 of that is going straight to the state of California.
That's disgusting.
At least. I'm not counting property tax. I'm not counting consumption tax.
And it's so crazy because like, it's also ridiculously expensive to fucking live there. Like ridiculously. When I went to HQ for Ambrosia, and gas was expensive in
you
Florida
almost had a heart
at the time.
attack, bro.
But I was like, gas is $3.50 in Florida. How the fuck are you guys paying $7.35?
Bro,
like,
I was there with Courtney, my buddy Courtney.
Yeah.
And it was like $9. And Courtney's just a good old Southern boy, right? Courtney's like, $9, I'm like, he turned into Dave Chappelle real quick, man. Yeah. He's like $9, more of a Chris Rock, actually. $9. I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, like, these people crazy, like he's lived in Tennessee his whole life. And so here's the crazy thing. So only 37 to 61 cases have been traced to interaction with affected cattle. So they're from unknown origin. Here's what I've noticed. So you see 61 people, but this would be the first thing they mentioned. And are you seeing anybody who's actually died from this?
Nope.
So you're telling me it's 0 for 61 in offing people. Like, guys, you got to do a better job of scaring us. Like, make some shit up. I don't know. Go Hillary somebody who gets it. I don't know. But this is absurd. This is absurd. Like, I'm not worried about the fucking bird flu. I'm just
right.
I'm not worried about anything. Look, man, if I get something, I'm getting something. You can't hide from these things. You can't cover your face for these things. Although the WHO and CDC was 100% correct when they told us all to mask and to mask our children, including infants. That was obviously the right move.
Oh, clearly. No, nobody got secondary infections from breathing in all the fucking, the petri dish of shit. Nobody got that. And and even though you could smell right through those things, people could smoke through their mask. I'm sure that they stopped the deadliest virus ever.
And here's the thing. I knew a lot of people who kept it in their pocket, dirty, nasty pocket with change in there. You know how much germs are on change and dollar bills? And so you're putting in the same pocket. So
next to your penis.
I would like to say, my penis is really clean. It never gets used. So, so you have, so it's obvious in saying that they were so correct that I agree with the CDC and the WHO that taking that dirty mask that's touching all these germs and putting it on your face is saving lives.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's making you healthier. And honestly, at the end of the day, you're a hero for doing that because you're saving lives. You're like a modern day Superman. You're like Clark Kent. As soon as you put on that mask, you're Superman because you're saving countless lives in your selfless act.
And you know what it made it more effective? When it made it more effective is when people would get in their car and they wanted to live dangerously because, of course, you should wear your mask in your car, you dumb fuck. Always. But they would sit it on their dash. That way the sun would hit it and it would actually heat it up. So anything that was cultured on there would grow because that they're trying. It's almost like homemade penicillin at this point, right? So then you put it back over your face and you inhale that shit. I mean, you're damn near going to be a god. Like, I mean, nothing's going to be able to stop you.
You're like Thor.
Yeah.
Like you're like the god of thunder. Like you're the one, if there was a hammer stuck in a rock, you would lift that shit right up and be like, twirl it around, catch it. It'd be amazing. I like YouTube. It makes us be creative. So yeah, I think what we're getting at here, guys, is that the government's always going to find a way to get more power. And as I illustrated before, there is nobody in government except for probably Donald Trump and Thomas Massey. And I think Matt Gaetz, because he deals with a lot of small donors. He's not taking the big donors. There's a few of them, maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everybody in government is compromised because now I know, because I explored running. Now I know that there is no way you're not beholden to your donors. There's absolutely no way. And these donors who would now keep in mind, there's a lot of causes to donate money to, right? I prefer, I switch off. I used to be big on the military funds like Semper Fi. Now I'm big on kids with cancer. That's where I normally donate a lot of my funds to if I'm going to give to charity, when I give to charity, which is every year. And probably more monthly. I always try to, do some good deeds, and good deeds means, I believe Christians call it tithing. Is that the word, or?
Yeah.
So I always try to do that because I do believe in karma and the universe, and I do believe in God, and I do believe in the Bible. And I believe everyone should tithe if they can. Obviously don't tithe away your rent money, but you know what I mean? But if you're looking at, and you're rich, right? And you're looking at, wow, this $5 million could probably save a lot of kids with cancer. Fuck it. I'm going to give it to AOC.
Yeah.
No,
she needs yard signs.
They're not giving that money for free. That money is being given to them because they expect something in return. There's no such thing as a politician who is unbiased, who is not bought and paid for. There are exceptions. I won't say no such things. There are very few such things. And that's why I think we need to understand why it made so much sense to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because dude has the bag, and he's the only president who lost money as president. He regained it with True Social, right? Like he did pretty well. But dude, I mean, think about it. Why would anybody, like, for example, they're trying to get a new field house at one of the schools we coach at. And there are rich people who went to that school. We're in Williamson County. And they're like, tell us how much you need. We'll find the money. And it's like, oh, okay. But you're literally building a field house for kids.
Right.
That's altruistic as fuck. You're changing a kid's life. And my opinion on youth sports is everything. Okay. That person they're probably farmers, or they probably made their money buying a bunch of property back when it was cheap out here, whatever.
Right.
They're like, hey, we got the bag. We're going to give back. These people aren't going to donate to politicians because they're busy helping kids. The people who donate to politicians are the Pfizers and the people with special interests and the lobby groups that they do that because they want something in return. 100%. That's why you can't trust these hoes.
Because they're hoes. 100%. That is exactly it. And they all lie. As for instance, for our next story.
Holy segue, Alan.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
You set that up really, really well.
I didn't even know I was setting it up. That's how good it was.
So one more time. Pussy is undefeated.
Oh God,
undefeated.
Pussy. I still haven't tweeted my actually it's mandated by God that I tweet pussy is undefeated. I usually put vagina because I try to censor myself.
Yeah.
So again, I believe on Monday I went on a complete rant or just, I kind of got a little creepy. I watched it back. I'm not going to lie. I kind of creeped myself out about how women are just fucking amazing. The hair, the smell, I remember when I first met, I'll never forget the first date with my wife. And I remember her smell. And I remember her the feeling of her hair, shit like that. Women are just fucking amazing. And that will fuck, dude. Do you think Bill Clinton wanted to get involved in that shit? Dude, he went for some subpar, not even a 6. That's how fucking you get you get a prime time piece of meat, which I'm thinking that's what James O'Keefe, he ain't throwing out that Walmart meat, dude. No. He's throwing out that fucking Perry's Steakhouse, fucking marinated for like in that fucking, they hang it up and it's aged, and then they fucking, they put the seasoning on it, they put the fucking grill marks, and oh shit, as steak comes out, it's fucking a little bit of blood. Oh no, you don't want that time of the month, but you know what I mean? It's got a little bit of blood coming out. It's got, you can see the juices on the plate. Dude, James O'Keefe is throwing the prime time vag at these people, and they can't turn it down.
It's wild. So this, I mean, and at some point in time, at some point in time, I'd love like this woman needs to do an interview with somebody, but I hope, and I'm sure
I volunteer to interview her.
Yeah, I'm sure James O'Keefe is paying her well. And by the way, this is what journalism actually is, people.
Yes.
I know people don't like to admit it, but and James O'Keefe should win the Pulitzer like 4 times over. Like, we talked about him earlier this week blasting somebody out. Like, it's like rapid fire at this point. But this says, revealed, DHS Undersecretary for Policy confesses Trump win is traumatic and a crushing blow to the Biden administration. Reveals Biden's mental decline accelerated at 12 to 24 months into Biden's presidency. During meetings in the White House, Undersecretary Rob P. Silvers at DHS Policy. Jesus fucking Christ!
You got to play this. How long is it?
I believe it's 10 minutes.
We got to watch some of it.
Yeah, we got to watch some of it.
Can you pause it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. He's right. Scamdemic. Bro, all these dudes are Jews. I'm not going to lie. Like, the last dude was evident. I even brought it up. Like, that dude looks pretty Jewy to me, right? Yeah. Like, this guy, that guy looks like the fucking meme. You know, the guy like this with the hands, like
yes. He does. That's fucking outstanding.
It is such a tough time to be a Jew. Oh man, yeah, he's not wrong.
I got a big nose myself, so, and I'm not Jewish.
Well, the Greeks have huge noses, man.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to bring up
that. Was awesome. Please do.
I wanted to hedge off the Jew comments by just nipping it right in the bud. These guys are all Jews. Like, they're just Jews.
It's all true. So, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
It makes me wonder when I look at this guy, like, does he think he's like that, or is like, because if she's like super good looking,
she's gotta be.
Yeah, but if she is, shouldn't like a bit of self-reflection, like, shouldn't this guy be like, as he's like washing his hands after taking a piss in the fucking restroom, be like, why is this woman talking to me?
No, dude, you're dude, like, it's like it's such undefeated. A powerful. It's
it's fucking truth serum. It's crazy.
Yes. They're like women. Like, everybody's like, oh no, women need equal rights. I'm like, you got more rights than us, because you could basically get us to do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I mean, you can pretty much, like, there's been time, like, my wife and I, we don't live in a fairy tale, right? Nobody does, except Alan's relationship seems to be a fairy tale. Ours isn't. We have kids, and they're assholes a lot of the time. There's times
my wife's got to deal with me. There's no fairy tale.
so there's times I'm like, you know, I'm mad. Like, I'm upset with her, and I'm like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, nope, not having sex. And then, like, I'm like, nope, not doing it. And then all I gotta see is a boob. I'm in. I'm done. I'm out. I'm like, okay, I like you. I can't.
I don't even remember what we were talking about earlier. So.
I can't withhold it. I'm not good at it. I cannot. I'm the worst guy. Like, No, they're like, well, women they're not as in the mood as much as dudes. I get it, like a lot of the time, because especially testosterone, like me and shit, right? Like I get it and I understand it, but it's hard to cope because I'm like, well, I'm ready all the time. Like, well, it's the second. I'm only ready on the third, like all that shit. But like, if I was like, fuck it, I'm holding out. I would last like 12 minutes at most. And I'd be like, fuck it, I'm in. Let's go. I forgot whatever you did. I forgive you.
There's no leverage we can apply that way. We're not built like that. So this guy
Michael coming in with the case women don't influence a damn thing. Yeah, I guess I mean, you're right. Michael, you'd be the perfect dude to like, you would never ever cave.
I will point this out though. James O'Keefe went on a date with one of these guys to get secrets.
Oh, so, dude. Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying.
But Michael's also not retarded.
Well, this does also, James O'Keefe is also exposing the incredible level of fucking idiocy of the employees of the federal government at this point. Because it's one thing for this guy to think that, like, oh yeah, I'm just going to start talking. Like, he's spilling fucking secrets like about the president of the United States. This is 2 times in a row. Like, there's no doubt that the president is cognitively impaired now. Like, none. These are people that talk to him. They're admitting it. So who the fuck's running the country? Like, did you see this shit? Like, directly after the school shooting the other day, like, there was this long letter by President Biden about like gun control. Nobody in their right mind would think he fucking wrote that shit. Like, I mean, who the fuck wrote that shit? It wasn't in crayon. There wasn't everything was spelled correctly. There wasn't an ice cream stain up at the fucking top of it, and like it didn't have like I like little girl smell. Like, I mean, it didn't have that. So I don't believe it was Biden.
Oh my God.
We're never going to get through this video. So here we go.
Some people, like with meet the Undersecretary of Homeland Security for Strategy, Policy, and Plans, Robert P. Silvers. Undersecretary Robert Silvers revealed his boss, President Joe Biden, has degraded faculties and sometimes draws blanks in meetings at the White House. He has degraded faculties. Like some meetings, right? Undersecretary Robert Silver shares to our American Swiper that Joe Biden's mental decline accelerated 12 to 24 months into the job as president. So there's something going on.
Wow. Oh, what's going on here?
When he took off. I think after a year, I think it's like months, like 2024, it accelerated.
Wow.
One more time, James O'Keefe deserves the fucking every award for writing you can and investigative journalism that can be had. It's ridiculous.
Can someone in the White House and in these departments send a memo? Hey, bro, if a hot chick asks you questions about anything we do, just know that she is not interested in you, bro. Like she's playing you because she's trying to get James O'Keefe some content. No, like, you don't think they've had internal meetings? Like, guys, this has happened 74 times. maybe we should like stop going on dates with hot chicks.
Yeah. Like they're not for you guys. It's just so silly.
Yeah, these guys, like, I can imagine, like, if you're like jacked and handsome, like that's just a normal night. But even then, like, like, I don't go on dates, obviously, but people ask me what I do. I'm usually like, I own a couple businesses, and what's that? And I usually just offer very little information unless they're someone who's a potential customer, right? Like, I'm like, yeah, we do stuff. I'm not like, so, let me tell you about my HR tab at work. It's like, what? Who talks that, intricately about what they do at work? That's the crazy part. You would think they're under some level of security clearance. They're not supposed to say these things under any circumstance. Like I know a guy, he lives down the road from me. He worked for the CIA. I could literally have him drunk and have a gun to his head, and that dude would not tell me shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so what'd you do? Yeah, I was at a place. Oh, like, was it nice? Like, yeah, it was nice. Was it hot or cold? I can't say. Like if you how do you not like? And like, other than what they're cleared to say, like a lot of SEAL guys will talk about their missions once they're declassified, like these, like Sean Ryan and those guys, like they'll talk about it, but like, unless it's declassified and they're like 100% you could talk about this, dude, you couldn't waterboard it out of them. Yet these guys, they just have they don't have that code because these are just weak men. Like they're just weak individuals, and they're just nerds. And like Navy SEAL guys are built different, right? Like these guys aren't built like that. So they want to tell people what they do because being behind the scenes isn't good enough for them. They want to be known. They want to be cool because they know all about President Biden and his faculties, and they're in the inner circle. I'm talking to the president, where they're underachievers. They're just government pencil pushers, and they're egomaniacs. And I'm happy we're getting this information, but at the same time, I'm really disappointed in humanity. The fact they can't keep a fucking secret.
The wild shit about all of this stuff is that like our government keeps so many secrets that they shouldn't anyway. Like there shouldn't be these secrets. You know what I mean? Like, and I just find it like for instance, the continuing resolution bill that they're like voting on it. Basically, a couple of hours after they got it, the motherfucker's 1,500 pages. Like how in the fuck are they voting on this thing to spend a ton of money? So this is 2 minutes ago, by the way. So this is actually pretty good news, if you ask me. So it says the House drafts continuing resolution after Trump, Musk, and others blast spending plan. Red state, not just blasted by Trump and Musk, but by millions of voters. Congress must stop spending and confirming any Biden judges. There should be we have in this week, in 3 days, confirmation from 2 government high-level employees that work closely with Biden have said that he is not cognitively up to the job. He should not be able to sign anything for any money going forward. He should not be able to sign anything for any fucking aid going anywhere. He should not be running the motherfucking country, yet alone, and he's not. But who the fuck is then? Like, that's my thing. Like that's. I want to talk to that motherfucker. Because that's likely the motherfucker that basically censored us fucking 4 years ago. That's the one that made it so we couldn't even say we called COVID the Mexican beer flu for a fucking year and a half, because if you mentioned the C word on YouTube, they just fucking deleted you. It was wild.
Without any warning and no strikes.
Yeah.
They would just delete you. And we have a strike on this channel right now, the YouTube channel we're on, for those of you who haven't already migrated over to the R word that rhymes with humble. With the same /evening rants at the end. For those of you who haven't migrated over there to a better, nicer place, we can say whatever we want. We have a strike. Mm-hmm. And all Alan did was read a news story about a woman who was injured.
Yeah.
That was it. And that was enough for them to give us a strike. And then he has to take this course. So you have this course you have to take or else your strike never goes away. And the course is basically bending the knee. It's kissing the boot. It's so basically questions like exactly what we were talking about before. Are the CDC and WHO always correct? Yes.
That's literally how they put it too.
It's absolutely absurd. I mean, they literally give you this re-education camp, like they were sending people to, like they wanted to send Jordan Peterson to in Canada, which is he's another guy that we could spend hours dissecting. Not literally, I guess we could. Well, he's really skinny. It wouldn't take that long, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. We should not be told what to think. And and we're not presenting medical information. We never do. We talk about issues, and you're allowed to have an opinion. But the thing is, they were doing it to doctors too. They did it to the guy who invented the mRNA.
Yep.
They did. It's like you're not a doctor. Actually, it's my technology. You're not our kind of doctor. Like it's like. So when does YouTube? When do they get the right? I know it's a private company. No, it's not. It's protected by something which makes them a public platform, which makes them a town hall. By being a town hall, that means they need to abide by the First Amendment. So either you make it free speech or you don't get that protection. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that actually switches. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that actually switches soon, like where they're no longer allowed to suppress people, like speech, because that's against the First Amendment.
The online Bill of Rights that Trump's talking about, right?
Right. Which, as you pointed out, and I agree with you, we shouldn't need the online Bill of Rights. Like, it should be just the fucking Bill of Rights, But, it's this. I decided to drop my 2 cents. Okay. But I wonder, like, how it works still too. Like, just like you brought up, it would be a lot better if you just tell me the rules. Believe it or not, even though I look like I don't and I act like I don't, I can follow the rules. Like, I know people were always amazed. Like, almost all my videos on my fitness channel are monetized. I say fuck for a living. Like, I mean, I literally have a shirt that says fuck, million spoken, zero given. Right. And it's just how I talk, especially when I'm live and I'm talking about, like, I'm ranting or whatever. I say it a lot. Never demonetized for that, ever. So that's not it. I would just like to know the parameters instead of, like, what did I say that was wrong? What did I, like, exactly where was the medical misinformation? Exactly where was this, or exactly where was that? And I think that's kind of like, they say that they care about their creators so much. Well, you pay people to eat 5,000 calories on film, and you then delete people for telling the truth without telling them what you're deleting them for. So
that they didn't show us what we said. They don't even tell you what you did wrong. They're like, hey, you have a strike. Well, for what? Prove what my misinformation was. Let's have it. And then you submit it for review. Like, we confirmed you did it wrong. And then they're like, okay, cool. We'll have a strike. Now what? Well, in 3 months, we'll let your channel back if you answer these questions, basically bending the knee to what we want you to think. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
I love this one. Hang on a second. This is very true. And I have quoted all of these people, by the way. Get to work. Oh, there we go. You're not a doctor other than Ioannidis, McCullough, Bakhtiari, Malone, and Rand Paul. The first 2 he named, by the way, are one is the most cited living scientist in history. Like, I mean, he is the expert in public health, like the man. And McCullough was pretty much considered one of the also most cited scientists in his field until they stripped him of his field. Like, he was a heart specialist, and the accrediting bodies took his heart surgeon accreditation away from him for speaking out.
Yeah.
And then the other one signed the Great Barrington Declaration and is going to be in charge of the NIH.
Isn't that amazing?
That is fucking beautiful.
So here's the problem. So the Democrats are complaining. And what did you and I say this whole time? Be careful what you're doing, because one day you won't be in charge. And the Republicans are just going to be like, we're doing what we're going to do, and you can't do anything about it. And we're like, like this whole, prosecuting Trump thing. Okay, cool. All right, you guys are doing this. It's going to be thrown out because it was all trumped up charges, no pun intended. But you do realize that you won't be able to stay in power forever. You can't change it enough to remove all chances of Republicans winning. So you do understand that when Trump gets back into office, that whole lock her up thing, he's actually going to do it this time. And he's going to see to it that he has a favorable attorney general who's not Barr, who's going to go in and just say, you know what? I work for the president. I work for them. President told me to put your ass in jail. So I'm going to show me the man. I'll show you the crime. And Republicans will do the same thing. And if they say anything, Republicans will be like, dude, you literally made up 34 fucking bullshit misdemeanors, somehow turned them into felonies. And here we are. So you know what? Like I had that tweet at that guy on the masking thing. I don't know if you saw that one. It actually went not viral, but it picked up some really good steam. And it was essentially just my thought about the situation. So this guy, I'll pull this up right now. So this is kind of where I'm at, because I don't want to be mean to people, but I made a vow to myself that after this is all said and done, the people who did this, I will never let them rest easy. Oh no. Because you tried to ruin my life and take away my livelihood. So this guy, Asara Wilkinsomer, this look at his, he looks exactly like you think he would look. You mean like so he wrote Jamie Mitchell. I don't know who Jamie Mitchell is. Let me see. What is Jamie? Oh yeah, she's the gays against groomer person. Oh, yeah, she's good for her. She's great. Spotted a couple in masks today in the year of our Lord 2024, and then a clown emoji. She didn't really say anything bad, right? She say, hey, these people are in masks. They should be proud to be wearing masks. If I was proud to be wearing one, I'd be like, yeah, take my picture, put you all over the place. Yeah. So he came out tough because he looks tough, and his name is COVID Bag of Dicks. Okay, that's literally his at name. Holy shit, it is COVID Bag of Dicks. You are the fucking clown here. You have no idea what these people's circumstances are. My friend's 6-year-old daughter has leukemia. If she catches anything, she will die. Go fuck yourself. I don't think that this mask that you could see, it's not even fitted correctly. It's not preventing anything except IQ. Like the only thing it's decreasing the chance of is having a thought for yourself. It's a cult. And it's a virtue signal. So I wrote I said, okay, little bitch, let me explain. And I meant little bitch in the nicest, most endearing, most respectful terms. Yeah. In the early 2020s, your people yelled at us for not masking and made people wear them to go nearly anywhere. You forced kids to mask at school. It is imperative that we shame and laugh at you and make your life hell. You want to know why? Because fuck you. That's why. That's why. I like it. I think that was one of my that's one of my favorite tweets I've done in a long time. I like it a lot. That one was good. That one was a very, very eloquently stated. Yes. And the reason we're going to keep shaming you, the reason we're going to keep pointing you out, if I see you in public, I'm going to point and laugh at you and dare you to do something about it, is because fuck you. Because you did the same thing to us. And well, you could be the bigger person. No, I don't want to be the bigger person after what you tried to do to my family and I. Yeah. After some woman at an outdoor zoo ran up to my wife, who, by the way, can't wear masks because she had sinus surgery due to having growth in her sphenoid. She had literal brain surgery. Okay, yes, she can't wear a mask. And she got yelled at with this person not knowing her medical history, with this person not knowing anything about her, with this person being a complete idiot because they can't read the science, even though they were right because the WHO and the CDC said that was the right thing to do. Right. But I don't believe the WHO and CDC said that you should yell at people who can't wear them because they will die. They will get an infection and they will die. My wife has to neti pot every night. She has to rinse her nose. She has to take a nasal antibiotic every night. She can't wear one, guys. She can't wear one. And for planes, they didn't give a fuck. They were like, fucking die, bitch. So I'm like, okay. You did this for 2 years and you try to do it longer, But the federal judge who was appointed by Trump was like, why are we wearing these bitches on planes? Nah.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, like, and I've seen it a bunch, like, oh, we got to get past it. No, we'll get past it when you guys admit you were fucking wrong. Like, I mean, I took, Mark and I, and many others like us, took so much motherfucking shit from people.
Terrible.
I'm sorry, but I'm not letting it go. Like, I really am not. Like, if anybody gets in a debate with me, the literal first thing I do is go back in their history to see if they fucking, if they, said anything about masks, or if they said anything about like how the unvaccinated, the unclean, the members of the control group, how we shouldn't be able to get health care. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, but I am going to fucking humiliate you with facts, data, and my wit. You know, like
the wit is the most important thing.
Yeah, yes. But I do not care. There is no pandemic amnesty. You people were super fucking wrong. You fucked up a generation of fucking children. You fucked up a generation of children. And yet, instead of feeling like, God, I was so stupid, and look what we did to these kids who can barely goddamn read in like the fucking 4th grade now, instead of being remorseful and being like, sorry about it, you guys are still fucking trying to put the hammer down. Fuck that, motherfuckers. Don't, and I do mean this, dear leftists, don't try to pull that shit again, because I can tell you this right now, it's not going to work out the same way you thought it would.
Last time. I think it's time that, as you say, the Tree of Liberty it needs watered.
Yes, the Tree of Liberty needs watered. It still does.
What I find is fascinating is going to the topic of like gun control, right?
Yeah.
This is something I saw. Actually, this is on the other side. So essentially, they're praising this Mangione guy for killing a father and a CEO who happened to be a CEO for a company they don't like.
Yeah.
But yet now they're calling for gun control because there was a school shooting by a person who was mentally ill. And I just don't understand that gun control is a good thing when it fits their narrative, but when the gun is used to kill a father and CEO who came up from humble beginnings, then that's the that's how they do it. These guys aren't serious about gun control, by the way.
No, absolutely
they don't
not.
believe anything they say. I mean, the left is an absolute, just, they become the party of violence and basically they're an arm of they're basically about big government and government control.
Well, these are the same people where like they want you to not say mean words about fat people, but they also claim that they take the environment and they took COVID really seriously. If you took COVID or you took climate change really seriously, you'd be telling every fat person in your fucking life to lose weight. It's so true. I mean, I think I said that Mark and I did a space last night. That was really fucking cool, by the way. But it's the same thing. They're not serious about any of these things. It's all meant to control. All of it is meant to control people. Any politician that talks about gun control, gun this, gun that, is frankly against the Constitution.
And they're hypocrites because they're protected by guns.
Exactly.
They have bodyguards. Look, man, let's have that. Before we have that discussion, why don't you go a year without personal protection? We have two classes in this country. It's the ruling class and the peasant class, and the big corporations. And this is something I've been giving a lot of thought to, lately. And when I fly, I'll either work or I'll sleep or I'll just kind of meditate. And I've been meditating in the cold plunge, which really, because I'm trying not to think about the fact that my feet are
gonna die.
Just have needles in them. And I've been thinking about just the government, and I've been thinking about everything around us and what's going on. And look, man, we are living in some form of fascism because the only way to get elected is to get bought and paid for by corporations.
Yep.
So So, I mean, these politicians, they're not of the people, because we've made elections pretty much who has more money. And what was fascinating is that the Democrats are complaining about Elon Musk funding the election or helping donate, when the Republicans were, I'm sorry, the Democrats outspent the Republicans by a large sum of money. So what's really fascinating is we're not talking about that. I brought up the wrong tab. Is we're not talking about the fact that the Democrats have the bigger donors. The Democrats have more money, and Elon Musk is just one guy, and he's the richest guy, but he's also going up against all these corporations that are worth so much money.
That's the thing. Like the left is pointing out, like, well, Elon Musk this, Elon Musk that, Elon Musk blah 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 blah. Let's get back to focusing on talking about, BlackRock, like, or State Street or Vanguard. The three companies that control like 95% of the world's assets. All right, like you fucks, like, it's weird. Like, I don't trust Musk just because, to be that rich, like, for all we know, he's a fucking Android AI right now. I mean, that's for real, but I don't trust anybody in government, frankly, or anybody that's that rich and powerful. But I judge people by their actions, and I have I am on Twitter and thriving on Twitter because of him. When other places were banning us, like, he did save, technically, like, and I know people don't like to hear this, he saved free speech for the world. The world. So
here's what's fascinating. So that bill we talked about earlier, that shot down all the stuff, right? So Rep. Debbie Dingell, she's from Michigan. So
what a name.
Oh man, I hate that she's a Wolverine fan. I'm gonna have to shit on you, Debbie. Sorry. Oh my God, what the fuck is that? That's the best picture she has.
It looks like she's had her face a little too close to some dingles.
Jesus H. Christ, man. Man, I hate that I have to shit on a Michigan fan, but we're equal opportunity here at Evening Rants. Elon Musk snaps his fingers and we shut down the government. Last time I checked, he didn't have a vote. Like, we had public outcry about this. And I'll explain why. Because below, a no-name person with only 2,385 followers pretty much summed it up. We're in office to serve the people we represent, not unelected billionaires. No, you're serving the groups that donate to you. You are beholden to your donors, Representative Dingell. We need to reach an agreement that puts the American people first and keeps the government open. So here's the bill, and Justin Ayers puts it greatly, and I would like to read this because he uses words I really like. The bill includes a big raise for you. The bill includes immunity for you. Again, they make these bills 12,000 pages long with only about 1/2 of a page written towards the intended consequence. Those are called pork. That is called pork. The bill includes another $60 billion for Ukraine. Money we obviously do not have. The bill includes billions more to continue the invasion of illegals. Tell us again who you're in office to serve. Drum roll, please. You self-righteous cunt. We are sick and tired of all of you living it up like this is the Hunger Games or something. The people do not support any of this shit, and we'd rather shut it down. Let's roll. So Elon gives us a voice. Elon is the great equalizer. One man can equalize the efforts of dozens of billion-dollar companies.
Yes.
Elon Musk is essentially kryptonite to the Democrats because he's not really given that much money when you put it in perspective of how much he's worth. He is simply giving people the opportunity on X to openly call this woman a cunt. And Justin, I will follow you right now because you said something that really resonated, and that is the C word. And anybody who says that. But if you look at the comments, you do not deserve a pay raise, not until you fix the economy, not until you help the people of North Carolina and Hawaii, not until you stop flushing our money down the Ukrainian toilet. You did not deserve a raise until the American people get theirs. Mr. Clark, you get a follow as well. Yes, this is what I want to see. Elon just gave the megaphone back to the people. It's the people doing the shouting. Tabor John. I'm going to follow him before I read this because he is speaking our language. Tabor John says, Cope, you fucking lard ass piece of pig shit.
Nice.
Nobody gives a shit what your fat, useless ass thinks, comma, bitch. So now we are fat shaming. We are using the C word. We have pictures of Elon and Vivek with chainsaws. I love what I'm seeing in this country because the people are seeing through this bullshit. The people are being informed by X being the number one source of news on this planet. And the people are fucking sick and tired of it, where you have people who used to be left. I like how the left, we need our own Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan put it best. And Joe's like, you had one. Me.
Yeah, right.
They literally had fucking Rogan. And now like, we need to build a Rogan. How about you just don't fuck everything up?
Well, dude, they had both of us. I'm sorry. I mean, I that's the thing, man. Like,
no shit.
I mean, that I have not changed. Now, don't get me wrong. I was always like very, very, very pro 2A, and that's where I didn't agree with the Democrats. But you know, the Republicans used to be like the party of big business, this and that. Like, and I think that, I mean, to a great degree, I think even Mitt Romney said it recently that it's no longer the GOP. The party is MAGA. You know, like I mean, it has been an internal takeover, and that's awesome. You know,
he said it like that was a bad thing.
Right.
It's like, he's like, oh, they're the party of MAGA. We're like, you're fucking right it is. Let's go. Let's go. Look, man, I hate the fact that like, well, I like the fact, you know, I know people agree with us now. And that's the craziest thing. Like I said some shit on Instagram today. Like, I do believe that I didn't say though, I had to say other words because I can't say school shooter on Instagram. Right. But I do think the parents should be tried for their kids' crimes. And dude, people went off, dude. The comments are not favorable for me. People were like, no, the parent. But I'm like, guys, I'm not meaning if your kid fucking steals a candy bar, you should go to jail. I said, what was the exact word I said? I said something.
The dad gave his mentally ill child, who obviously had serious anger issues and likely was on multiple mood stabilizing medications or SSRIs, a gun. Like, that's irresponsible gun ownership. She's not old enough to have it. He gave it to her. That is irresponsible gun ownership. At the very least, he's liable that way.
Well, my post was parents should be held accountable for their children's crimes. If my child under 18 commits a harsh crime, that is on me for not raising them correctly and also for not reinforcing restrictions on their whereabouts. If more fathers raise their children as men should, society would clean itself up fast. I thought that would be a pretty straightforward nope. Keep perpetuating the privatized prison system, Mark. This is a horrible take. Oh my God, this is insane. Kids make bad decisions despite how well you were raised. If your kid texts while driving and they hit and they hit an unalive pedestrian, you, the parent, should not be responsible for vehicular manslaughter. Really?
You're going to be paying for it with your fucking insurance anyway. I mean, you're going to get sued like a fucking motherfucker.
Man, if my kid shoots somebody and kills an innocent person, not in self-defense, right? Like, not like someone's breaking into my house, my kid caps him.
Right.
Dude, put me in jail. I don't want to live with myself. Put me in, fucking give me the death penalty.
Right.
Fucking put me out of my misery because I fucked up. I failed myself. I failed my son. I failed society. I should be shamed. I should be ostracized. I should be shunned from society. Put me in prison. Let me suffer for the rest of my fucking life.
Right.
That's where I'm at right now. But nobody, what kind of cope are these people dealing with? I just don't understand these replies. And somebody put, nobody agrees with this, where half the comments were people agreeing with me. I'm like, actually, a lot of people agree. You're alone on this one so far, but just make sure you dig your heels in deeper. I'm like, I'm not alone.
No, that's another thing too. Like what I find weird about social media is this, right? Because this is a true statement. Like apparently the Supreme Court is going to hear TikTok's hear TikTok to see if they can stay, right? And I think that TikTok should be able to stay even though they fucking hate me. Like I really think my voice is in their algorithm because I get banned very quickly when I fucking make videos. But the thing is, there's these microcosms on social media where if somebody is very, very popular, like if, for instance, if TikTok would go away, the body positivity movement and fat acceptance would almost cease to exist. You know, like, because that's the only place that's really, really safe for these people to say stupid fucking shit anymore. Right. The like Instagram, I literally had, well, that guy, the James guy. And I mean, I still message him. I mean, we don't agree with just about anything, but we were able to have a conversation, and his kid's sick right now. So I like sick. So,
oh no.
You know, yeah. Bad sick, but I'm not going to make it home for Christmas sick, which is bad. It's a baby, it's a child, like an infant too. It's horrible. So
I haven't messaged him. I should reach out.
Yeah, his name's I'll send you his thing. He's a nice. I mean, we don't agree, but he's a nice guy, you know. But like the thing is, like when he first came at me on Instagram, I'm on my like 5th Instagram account. Like I had 100,000 follower Instagram account, and now it's like 6,000, right? And they've strict this one so many times. It's just not growing. I'm fine with it. You know, I do my thing, but I don't think that him or his fans realized that I had other reach. And then I did my thing. I did my roasting on him, and all of a sudden he's like knocking at the door, like, "Hey, can we talk this out?" Like, you know, like, can we just have a conversation? Of course we can have a conversation. You
Absolutely.
know, like that's who we are. Right. But, it's like these microcosms. It's the same thing as YouTube. Like people think YouTube subscriber count means anything. Me and you were just talking a little earlier. I mean, there's the group of stooges, like the Cali Big Boy and this Wes Watson fucking fuckhead. And by the way, Wes, if you're watching this, I'm friends with Andrew Wilson's wife, and fuck you. By the way, you piece of fucking shit, acting all tough. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? You know, I love how he got really fucking Brody with Andrew. Such a tough guy, but they get no engagement. Like they have millions of followers, but there's like literally like you get better views on Tiger Fitness than most of them with millions of subscribers.
Yeah,
you know, it's wild. Like for people that don't know my previous history, like one of my first really big videos that gave me a lot of following was I kind of dismantled V-Shreds. Vincent, like I just dismantled his business basically.
That was brilliant.
And
he's still out there. He actually hires people to coach. He has a whole new scam going on.
Yeah, but he gets like 1,000 views a video on like a 3 million subscriber account now. You know what I mean?
Really?
So yeah, so that's the thing. Like people view this as weird. Like, you know, nobody's with you on this. Like maybe here, but I bet you if you say that shit on X, I think that people are gonna like, fuck yeah, motherfucker. Like, you know, it's a different world. It's a different story. And I think that people need to. I think that's one of the really cool things that about how you and I do our social media is like we're spread across all of it, right?
Well, you know what's great is what YouTube took away. Like I had a nattokinase video, did like 3,000 or 4,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think it's up to like 400,000 views on Twitter.
Wow.
And I mean, it's some of my videos, I post them everywhere. If you like them, watch them. If not, don't. Like today's video was an arm workout with Mike Rashid. Mm-hmm. And fucking great video. Like it's a fucking, it's a fucking banger. Edited perfectly. But Twitter, we had like 2,000, whereas other mediums are bigger. So it just depends on what the people want. If I do general health stuff, which I enjoy more, it does well on Twitter. If I do hardcore bodybuilding stuff, it does better on YouTube. And that's simply the demo, right? Like on Twitter, people know me for politics and shit posting and a lot of fitness, mostly fitness or health related. Yeah. But I get political. YouTube, you know, I do notice that when I post anything, when I started wearing this hat, that most of my followers, YouTube, I'm probably 75 to 80% Republican. Just because, but that's the gym. Like we were talking about that today. Like the gym is probably any gym you go to, because it's meritocracy. Gains are meritocracy.
Yep.
It's probably 80% conservative at most gyms, whether you're in California, New York, Tennessee, it just might go from 80 to 92, right? Like it's, dude, California, like I was at Lifetime in in Irvine, which is Orange County, which is based, bro. I saw more Trump shirts and shit there than I do anywhere else. It was crazy. I saw like 6 or 7 of them at my gym at any given time. There's probably 2 or 3, MAGA 45, 47, those type of things. But yeah, I mean, the gym has always been based, but unfortunately, like the based is different. Like the gym wasn't always Republican. It was always about freedom and personal responsibility and freedom of choice. Meaning if I want to take steroids, I'm going to take steroids. And I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about LA Fitness. Like if you guys just knew, like you guys, everybody shits on steroids. If you guys knew how many men use steroids at your local LA Fitness, it would blow your fucking mind. Yeah. More than I've ever used too. Like I'm talking about just normal bros.
Not to mention, but I can almost guarantee you that any male that's over the age of 25, that's 250 pounds plus, that doesn't work out with that's at 40% body fat, they should be on TRT. I mean,
well, that's one. So yeah, I have a relative not on my side of the family who's morbidly obese.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, TRT is one of the first things they put him on because his test was in the fucking dumps. Because fat's estrogenics. They put you on an AI inhibitor like an Astrazole, and they put you on TRT because, I mean, you're basically turning into a bitch. That's why they developed gyno. Like gyno, a lot of people attribute it to steroids, but gyno is actually obese people. Even if they lose weight, they'll have tits. So gyno, do you really think a plastic surgeon is making his money off the 12 people in the fucking town who take juice? No, it's fat fucks who lose weight. They still have titties because they develop gynecomastia. It just, I mean, but gyno is a side effect from the aromatization of steroids. Absolutely. But guess what else aromatizes? Fat.
Yeah.
And what's there more of, dudes on juice or fat fucks?
Well, by far and away the fat fucks, but we should change that. Actually, if we actually had it, we're dudes on juice versus if we flip that, we'd be a lot healthier.
America would be amazing if everybody was fucking sauced up.
Yeah, no shit. Like
it'd be so great.
And to think, like to your point, if you're ever doubting that, find 2 people, both 5'6", 5'7", that both weigh 400 pounds and have one be male and one be female. If they get naked and if they shave themselves down and they get naked, you won't be able to tell which one is male and female from the neck down. You won't.
Unless the woman's Italian. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the fupa normally hangs over the junk and they both have tits.
I see that a lot. When you see a fat dude, like how? Just how? Like, how does that work when you can't like access it?
I don't know. I was never that fat.
So one of us needs to get that fat and tell the other one what happens.
You're up, buddy. I was fat last.
Oh God damn! Yeah, you were. God damn it! Yeah, I've always wondered because, like, I mean, I look in the mirror naked. I'm like, there's my stuff. But imagine if you're looking in the mirror and you can't see your junk. That would fucking scare me. I'm like, oh my God.
Check to make sure it's still there.
Yeah, it's nuts. And did you know that like being lean increases the length of your penor?
Yeah, because it pulls that fat that's from the base.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, like I'm talking significant, like 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Yeah. Like it literally doubles the size of mine. If I got fat, I'd have nothing to work with, bro. I'd be like jackrabbing it like this.
Yeah, it would be like an innie.
Oh my God.
And
that is
YouTube. It's just jokes. YouTube. It's just jokes. So
YouTube's okay with that. You just can't mention anything negative about it. We've already tested it. We've talked about on this show. We've talked about everything from you can't mention anything negative about Ukraine, and you can't mention the anything negative about the CDC, WHO, or the shot. And that's it. You can say anything you want as long as you don't touch those topics. We experimented, man. We said some crazy shit, out of pocket shit. And YouTube's like, that's fine. As soon as you play a video of a girl saying she got injured from something we can't talk about, then they're like, strike. Okay, so we can talk about crazy shit. But like, as soon as you mention that, you're done. You're done.
Hang on a second.
Yeah. It was a self-depreciating joke, you know?
Yeah, of course. Like that's what we do. That's another thing too. Like, before we go, just a message to some people. Like, I get people all the time that say I'm really, really, really mean and everything like that. I tell a lot of fucked up jokes about myself also. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I make fun of my ADHD all the time. I know I'm crazy. So,
and since it's a female, Alan, I would like to point out, Janet, that is 100% a joke. I actually went viral on gay Twitter for my posing trunk picture. Yeah. So I just want to say that is purely a joke. So just so you know something personal about me, it's slightly larger than a half an inch, just slightly.
Yeah, let's just make sure that everybody understands that, like, it's not a quarter of an inch.
No, today I did not talk about my ass. I talked about sucking venom out of Alan's ass. Get your shit right. Get your shit right, bro. Absolutely. Like, I did not talk about my ass at all. I talked about sucking Alan's ass. But there's venom in it. Hold on. Before we go, I know time's up. Before we go, I would like to clarify that because that sounded weird. Yes, I'm not just sucking his ass for fun. It's assuming he was bit by a venomous snake and I'm saving his life. And even then, I'm not sure I would.
And even then, Alan is saying, let me fucking die.
I've lived a long life.
I've lived a long
The priest is there. The priest is there reading him his final rites. I know he's an atheist, but he's covering all his bases. He's like, well, just in case I was wrong about this shit, can someone get a priest over here? Just in case. It's an insurance policy.
Let me die.
Sarah goes, that out of all things we've said, that's the messed up thing. I'm trying to figure out what's messed up because we said a lot of things there that were fucked up. We talked about the female body and the male body looking the same. We talked about fupas, small penises, big penises, sucking ass. There's a lot of things that were wrong, Sarah. You need to be more specific. I need to go before I get arrested.
It's going downhill rapidly. So everybody, tomorrow
we fell off a fucking cliff, bro.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, trying not to get canceled again.
I'm canceling myself after tonight.
But we definitely need to go take a time out, both of us. We need to go to the corner and collect ourselves. But thank you very much. Hey, I want to tell everybody, New Year's is coming up. You must start the new year. It is time to make America healthy again. There's going to be massive sales at both Tiger Fitness and AmbrosiaCollective.com. Massive sales. So make sure you stay tuned to us. Follow us at Evening Rants on Rumble, Evening Rants on YouTube. You want to follow us on Spreely. We're channel 2, I believe, at the 8 p.m. time. Plus, I put a lot of my fitness stuff on Spreely also. Same. You can watch us live. It is right on, like literally right on your smart TV. So you can watch us just live anytime we come on live. And each of our Twitter handles or X handles is at Mark Lobliner and at the MFing COO. So please do check that out. We're going to be announcing tremendously good sales. We are dedicated to helping make America healthy again. For fuck's sake, it's our fucking catchphrase. People are just using it. And with that in mind, we are going to have some amazing, and I mean, truly, like, I'm blown away the deal Sean told me about. So stay tuned. I don't want to announce it just yet, but stay tuned. And it's going to be a fabulous new year, and we'll make America healthy again.
Hell yeah.
All right, here we go. Everybody have a great night.
See you tomorrow.
The Holy Trinity Bundle isn't just about weight loss. It's about empowering you to find your healthiest, happiest self. Let's talk about what's in the bundle and how it caters specifically to our needs. First, we got Ember, which is not just any fat burner. It's also going to boost your mood, your energy levels, while also suppressing your appetite. And if you're worried about it being too strong, you can split the tablet in half to tailor its impact. Next, we have Alchemy NCT, which turns the carbs that you eat into energy and not fat. Yes, energy, not fat. This is our way of making sure that the meals that you eat contribute positively to your weight loss journey. And girls, we all know that we want that. And finally, no morbidity. This one's my favorite because it works while you sleep It burns fat and controls those nighttime cravings without any stimulants, so you wake up feeling refreshed. Try it out and feel the genuine difference. Here's to new beginnings and real results.